But with that, let's get into this. We're going to talk today. I'm excited to be here, and we've officially started recording. We are officially starting the webinar. Uh, Today, we are going to go over how to get the most out of social media, and particularly, we're going to look at Facebook. So this is something, look, Facebook it's the internet almost at this point. I believe it's the most popular website in the world. There's Google up there always, but Facebook has just become so popular. So we're going to look at, not only social media, but really how you can take the tools from this platform and then take it to other platforms. A lot of it really transcends, from platform to platform. So who am I? My name is Jordan Shelton, guys. I'm happy to be here working with you guys and happy to be here presenting. I write for Inc. magazine. I write for Inman. I help companies market themselves. So I'm excited to be here. You guys get to know me a little bit. And as we work through this, if any questions, like I said, feel free to fire away. So for those of you who were here last time, we said this, and I feel the need. I need to bring this up every single time when I'm on a webinar. And it's, guys, the biggest crime being committed on social media is not being social. This means from Facebook, this means from Twitter, this means from LinkedIn. These are not one-way communication tools. They are tools to be used like a conversation, right? We see this all the time, and I just want to think about our framing. And when we go on Facebook, and if all we do is go to Facebook to post, we're thinking about it wrong. We need to go to Facebook to create conversations. So if we're there and we just go on and we're like, boom, I got a listing, I got to post it, pop, that's all we do. That's all you're going to be known for, right? You're not building any connection with anybody. You're just going to be known as the person who comes and posts listings. Think about it like this. If you entered a cocktail party, right, you wouldn't come in, or you would come in, hopefully, and you would meet people, you'd meet different groups, you'd ask questions, you'd get to know people, right, before they found out maybe what you did for work, before you handed out a business card. That's how we have to act on social media, because we wouldn't walk into a cocktail party with a giant sign of our listing yelling, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, located in Point Pleasant Beach. That's just how we wouldn't act, right? So why would we act like that on social media? We have to think about this as we go through and we progress, is how can we make conversations and make conversations stick with people? So when they see us and when they see our brand floating around, when they drive past a sign with your name on it, they have a nice warm feeling because they know you, the person, and you, the person, is you, the brand. So, guys, we're at a little bit of a crossroads with Facebook, and I'm going to ask you guys right now, and I want you to put in the questions. What do you think Facebook is for? Is it for sales? Is it a place to promote listings, connect with people, share cat pictures? How are you using it right now? Okay, got a couple cat pictures. I appreciate that. But the large majority of you guys are saying it's, a place to connect with people. And that's really what it is. Facebook is not a giant sales engine for you. It's a great way to build your brand and to do that through connecting with people. You can connect with businesses, people that you never would have been able to before. You can do it with Facebook, and you can do it for free. This is the tool we need to use. We just need to literally take a 2mm shift on how we use Facebook. We need to take it from, it's no longer a place where we go with a megaphone. It's a place where we go to have conversation. If we take this change in approach, we're going to see way more payoff from our community, from our audience. And why should we be on it? When I look at it and I go, okay, Facebook, and people, we can get dragged around to 1,000,001 platforms and Snap this and Instagram and Vine, and there's Vero just came out. There's always a new shiny app. There's always a new shiny tool. But guess what? If you can do this one right, it's literally going to make up for, it's 95. You're 95% to being an all-star marketer. if you can do Facebook right. Facebook is the internet at this point. The amount of targeting that we can do is fantastic, and the amount of people who are ready to purchase homes on this medium is fantastic. You guys have probably heard that, like Snapchat, for instance, is, the kids are using Snapchat and Facebook should be worried, right? Which is just, it's really like, it's crazy to me that, I don't really care what 12-year-old kids are doing on the internet. I care about people who purchase homes, people in that buyer demographic, what they're doing on the internet. And guess what? They're on Facebook and they're actually growing. That number of people is growing on Facebook. The 45 to 65-year-old age demographic is joining Facebook at the fastest rate. Now, those are people who have money and can afford homes. This is what we need to think about, right? Of course, we want to get millennials, but look, 12-year-old people act. Would you guys agree that you acted differently when you were 12 to maybe when you were 30 to maybe when you were 45? Of course, and you go to different websites. So don't get so caught up in like, I need a Snapchat, and putting so much time and effort into that. Master Facebook first, and if you can, then very often to Snapchat and those types of things. Because when we look at it, 214 million people are on Facebook in the U.S. And that figure's from last year. It's probably higher now. We just look at it, and these are people over the age of 13. So we got to look at the majority of the adult population. I believe the latest figure I saw is 92% of the adult population is on Facebook. Right, guys. If we want to hit a home run in baseball, we need to go to the field where people are playing, right? It's the exact same thing with marketing. If we want to get our message out, we want to be seen, we have to go to where the people are. And in America and in the rest of the world, for that matter, people are on Facebook. This is where they live. This is where they breathe. This is where they get their news. This is where they connect with friends, family, etc. And it's funny because I hear people saying, once again, oh, the young kids aren't using it. Well, the thing is that 45 to 65-year-old demographic, they are using it. I see all my relatives, that are in their 40s, 50s, 60s who are on Facebook, sharing, tagging, really using the platform to its full extent. And this is really refreshing and great to see, especially from a business perspective. Because we just see more opportunity, right? When you look at it right now, I challenge you guys, right? If you go to a Starbucks today or tomorrow, look around, and every single person is going to be on their mobile phone, right? If you're stuck in traffic at a red light and you look at the car next to you, there's probably a good chance that person's on their mobile phone, which is terrifying, but it's a real sign of the times. They're going to be checking their Facebook, right? This is where they live. If you take out your mobile phone right now, right, and you open up the home screen, some of you guys are probably on your phone as I'm talking anyways. If you open up the home screen, take a look at all the apps that are on your home screen, right? Are there a couple social media apps there, right? There's probably your email, the text, the call, maybe like a Google search app, the weather, and then there's probably 2 or 3 social media apps, and Facebook's going to be right there, right? This is what we have to think about. Is if you're like that, that means that every other person is probably doing the same thing. And your next potential buyer or seller is on Facebook. When they're at home on the couch waiting for, if they're watching a sports game and a commercial comes on, they're not watching that commercial. They're pulling out their phone and they're going on social media. So we need to be there, right? When they move from medium to medium, when they move from watching the TV to picking up their phone, this is our opportunity. We can do it with Facebook. So really start to think about it as this is where people are spending, I believe on average, the average American spends 30 minutes a day on Facebook, right? Half an hour. That's insane. And that's opportunity, 100% opportunity. So, how do you do this? And I'm going to pop off and show live examples as we go through this. I think it's so important for you guys to see it, not only me talk about things like, look, yes, when we put something on Facebook, we can get attention, right? And if it's good content, and I would put content we want to do the one of a couple barrels. So I'm going to write this in the chat, But when you guys are putting out content, I want you guys to think about this. Is the content inspirational, educating, or informative, right? If it's one of those three things, or entertaining. We'll go entertaining too. Sometimes there's things. I mean, I like the odd cat picture. I'm not gonna lie. So before you post, ask yourself, hey, is this content inspirational, educational, informative, or entertaining? So inspirational content would be something like a kitchen remodel. Like, hey, do you guys like this new kitchen at this beautiful LBI home? That's inspiring people to think about their own renovation. Or maybe it's, hey, we all know that a summer at the shore is second to none. That's inspiring people to think, oh man, I got to get out there for the summer. If it's educational, that could be things like, here's the latest, market report. Here are the areas. Here are the parts where we see people moving to. This is, that real industry knowledge that you guys carry and that local knowledge. That's what you can use on the educational / informative type of content. And then the last would be entertaining. And, is it entertaining? Is it funny? Is it something that can bring joy to people? Because if you can, then that's great too. Now, your content can be a blend of these to go out and get attention. You can also there's fun ways to promote listings. Listings can be, listings can be done in a way that it isn't just solely a description, but it can be informative. And a lot of times that comes through the way of like open houses, right? Hey guys, I have this open house at this time, blah, 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 come through. It's at, 123 Lane and it's open from this time. That's good information. And why are we doing this though? Because we do this and we put this stuff out. We want to get attention, but we want to get repeated attention, because the more we get attention, the more we have people that will trust us. And if people trust us, we can influence them. And once we have influence, we have the ability to sell them, right? And I know that ability to be sold, and that might sound bad, but it's not. I mean, that just means that you're at a point with your relationship with that person where they trust you as the go-to real estate professional in the area, right? That's what we all want to be. So don't think about it when it's like, oh, hey, you finally, close somebody. It's, oh, you sold them and that's a bad thing. It says, no, you built enough trust with this person, and you've done it through things like in-person meetings, social media, paid ads, them seeing, your past sales, etc. They've built enough trust to think, hey, this person can be the person who, either helps me get into a dream home on the shore, or helps me, sell, maybe find a rental property, like all of those things that, you guys are doing on that day in and day out basis. You're doing it already in person. We just want to take that online. So how should you act on Facebook? Before we get into this question, can you guys type right now, if you have a business page for Facebook, can you type yes? And if you don't, just type no. Okay, lots of yeses coming in. And then Gina at the office there, is there anyone who doesn't have, what is the split on, business page to non-business page? Okay, so for everyone who's saying they have a business page, now can you type to me when is the last time when's the last time you updated your Facebook? And be honest, I'll check. Okay, so people are saying a couple times. Some people have some people helping them post. That's great. Okay, I'm going to show you guys really quickly how to make a business page, because this is going to take just 2 seconds, but I think it's important. And I'm going to explain why you need to do it actually before we do that. Guys, personal Facebook pages are great, but there's the key word there, personal. Your aunt across the country doesn't need to see your listings, and vice versa. Me, if I'm a potential consumer and I want to connect with you on Facebook, maybe I don't need to see your family vacation on the internet. right? Like, if you have photos of your grandchildren or children, like those are things that you probably just want to keep private. And you want to look at your real estate content, right? How do you connect with a bigger audience? So I'm going to show you guys right now what the difference is. Okay, let's get into Facebook. So we all know this screen, right? And we can see here, it's a very, very simple page we all see. On the left here, you probably see a little see more button. You're going to see the explore. So when we go to explore, we're going to go pages. And in the very top right, when you hit pages, it's going to say your pages and create page. So you're going to hit this create page. And if you go to Facebook and say create business page, you're going to be able to actually find that out for yourself. So don't worry about it too much. So you just go through, you're going to pick this. What you're going to pick is here. Well, you can go either or on this, actually. You can go company, organization, or institution, or artist, band, public figure. I would go artist, band, public figure. That's easy. Then you're going to click through these steps, and if I go through and one sec, actually, we're going to go company. Yeah, we're going to go company, and there should be a real estate. Let's see here, local business. So you could do this if you want to have, so real estate. So you're going to go real estate agent, and you're going to put the address as just whatever the Berkshire office is that you work at. Then you're going to go through all these steps, and I'm not going to create a page right now. I'm going to show you guys what a finished one looks like. So then once you create your page, you're going to have, this is my personal account, right? And I can go over here, and my personal account is going to have my photo with a lightsaber and something to do with football that I like. This isn't stuff that's super businessy, right, for me. So now if I want to look at my business page, and what does that look like? I have a personal brand page, and we go through, and I have a YouTube show with this. So, I make sure that it's all done properly. We'll go through and great. And there's, the company commercial. We're posting things. There's a different posting structure, right? This is where we want to live. So for those of you who don't have a Facebook business page, this is where you want to be. And you want to be here because it just gives you way more opportunity at the top end to connect with more people, to bring people in who don't know about your brand, and to get them to start to interact with you, right? So I can go through and all these, I don't know who this person is. Great, they like my page, right? These are things that help. So how do you act? Well, you wouldn't wear a Speedo to a wedding, and you wouldn't wear a suit to the beach, right? So why would we act the same on our personal and business pages? They're not the same, right? They're different places. They're different mediums. They need different messages. Now, some of that stuff has crossover, right? I might wear sunglasses to the beach and sunglasses to an outdoor wedding, right? Like there are some messages that will work on both. But we really need to think about, does this message fit the platform? Does it, and more importantly, does it fit the audience I'm trying to reach? Right? If you look at your audience and then you reverse engineer them and say, okay, we have this audience, first-time home buyers, or you're looking to get people who are retiring and want to retire at LPI, or people who are looking for their, second vacation home, so to speak. That's a very specific type of person, and you can target them, and they need a different message than people on your personal Facebook. So really, really think about how you can isolate that message to really fit who you're trying to sell to, and think once again, is it inspirational, educational, informative, entertaining to that, right? So really, really think about that as you go through and create this content. So, and I talked a little bit about this earlier, but guys, like Facebook is so important. And if it's the one platform you sign up for, just do this one well. If you do this one well, every other platform when you pick it up is going to be easy, 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 easy. So don't worry about Twitter and getting caught up and posting on LinkedIn every third day and all of these things. Just get good at Facebook. And if you do that, you're going to be able to see the return over the long haul. Okay, should you use paid social media and paid Facebook ads? Who here has ran a Facebook ad before? If you have, drop me a yes in the questions. Okay, a couple yeses coming in, a couple no's. Okay, great. It's pretty split. How we're going to approach this is really simple. Look, Facebook is great and you can do a lot of things organically, but paying to play is still the best bang for your buck advertising wise. Right now, it is so cheap on Facebook relative to other advertising, and the targeting is so specific that it's almost a no-brainer. This is where we should have our ads. Guys, the price, and I'm telling you right now, this is undervalued attention. The prices on Facebook ads are going to be 3 times what they are right now in 3 years. 3 to 5 years, the prices per 1,000 people to see it, the prices per a click on an ad, it's going to be 3 times as expensive because brands are now figuring it out. Oh, hey, we should stop spending on commercials that nobody watches and we should be spending on Facebook. So the answer is yes, and I'm going to show you guys some difference here. So we're going to talk about the difference between dark social and boosted posts, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what that difference is. So dark social is ads that aren't posted on a Facebook page and they're solely ran as advertisements. So here is an exact, here's a dark social post, EO Fire, right? This guy runs a podcast. It's for entrepreneurs, great. So he's run this ad and he's targeting it at me because I like his podcast. If I go to the EO Fire page, this won't be on the page. So this is him running an ad. If I scroll down, I'm sure I'll see some more. And this is that regular stuff that you see. Here we go, AppSumo, right? Great, I see another advertisement here. So this is all stuff that you can be dark social. This is what you can do, and you can do through what's called Facebook Ads Manager. And you can target people really, really, really specifically, and you get a good bang for your buck. Now I'm going to talk about what a boosted post looks like. And boosted posts can still show up in the feed, but boosted posts are where you blend organic and paid efforts together. So I'm going to take an article here that I wrote. Okay, great. And this would be where I would start with paid. But if I go here and I go, so I go here, right? Now I have this option. So I can go publish or I can go boost post. So I'm going to hit boost post. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to say, great, I want to target this. I can target this to people who like my page, people who like their page and their friends. As you can see, I have another audience here from when we ran retired places to retire in LBI. But I can go through and I can create these audiences. But maybe I go here and I say, people I want to choose through targeting. We have all these audiences here that have been made and saved. But I can go and I can go create new audience. I'm going to do this. And we're just going to call this Inc. followers. But for you guys, or actually we'll do this. I'll just do, because I'm not actually going to run it. But let's say I wanted to do this at people, in Barnegat Light. I go here, I go, okay, we're going to call this Barnegat Light. I don't care about people under the age of, say, 30. You just go through and they make it so simple. So then I'd be, if you're there and you say, where do people buy, where do people buy Barnegat Light from? So maybe we'll go, if I could spell, that would be good. New York, right? So we go, okay, great. We want people who are in the state of New York. We want people in New Jersey. We can even get right into maybe people who've been here, right? You can get right down into that targeting. I can get really, really, really specific. So I could take away New York. And now I know, great, I'm targeting everyone who lives right here, right? And maybe I want to know if I'm running an ad, I say, I want to find new home buyers or something. So let's go here and I go moving. And it's going to give me all of these interests here, right? So likely to move. So if I can put in their behaviors, the person who is likely to move. So what Facebook has done is they've gone through and they've looked at, somebody who's looking, someone who maybe just had a baby, got married, someone who's looking at places like, the Berkshire Hathaway Zach Shore website, people who look at Zillow, all of these things, they can go through and see, I can go through and go, what are people doing, right? What are the profiles? What do people like doing? Hey, people who are interested in Barnegat Township, right? Maybe people who follow the sandpaper. I can go through and do all of these things. So, you got to play around with it, but this is how you can do this through a boost. So now I go through and I go, great. I've got people likely to move who live in this area. So 4.5 million and then 29,000. So I've got a very specific audience. So I would need to get a little bit, I need to add in some more filters so I could get more and more people. I could also run this at these 16,000 people and go from there. But what we would want to do is I'd want to add and keep adding more and more filters. But you guys get the point. And then once you do that, you then be able to get your metrics back and be able to see, what's happening, how did it perform, how many people clicked, what really worked for you. So I'm going to publish this post. So that's Facebook boosting. The other way to do this is through Ads Manager. In Ads Manager, there's a couple things you can do. If you do it through business.facebook.com, which is their new platform, it's quite, it can become a lot. So I would recommend starting with boosting. And then if you wanted to do Facebook ads through Business Manager, I would spend some time in okay, and I'm getting okay, I got a couple questions coming in. Okay, great. So that's how we would do the boosting. I am going to show you guys too quickly how to get how to create content and how to create posts that will stick. I know a lot of you guys are running, similar posts to other people. So what we're going to do, we have a couple tools you can use. Okay, one, guys, the Zach Shore page is your friend, right? This is 100% your friend, this page. What you can do from here. So we can go through and I can click, if you click this little button right here, now I can turn into my business page, right? Maybe I like this Motivation Monday right here, right? It's a nice image. I'm going to turn into my business page. And I'm going to hit share. So now, what will happen is It's now going to ask me, what do I want to write about it? And it's going to post it right on my page. So guys, if you're stuck for content, that's a great way to get content right there. Come over to the Zach Shore page. The other thing you can do on Facebook, go to the sandpaper, go some more, any photos you want to do. Facebook lets you schedule posts in advance as well. So if I'm in Business Manager for this, which I have to go to, I'm able to schedule posts in advance. One of the ways I can do this right through Facebook, or I can do this through software called Buffer or Hootsuite. So if I go to, which Buffer is bufferapp.com, they're both very, very inexpensive. I think Buffer is actually free up to 5 accounts, and Hootsuite's free up to 5 accounts. Guys, go take interesting stories that you find on the neighborhood that you live in. Take some photos. Maybe you have a throwback Thursday, right? You know, something of, you can put a throwback Thursday up from when maybe you first got into real estate. And you're able to go through. You know, I can know here, we've advanced scheduled here for Pinterest, for instance, for the Zach Shore accounts. So you can go through and you can add in this content. But where you want to find it is, you know, those local sources. So you want to go through, you know, you can take these beautiful images. I mean, we're creating these. You can take these and post them yourself. Once they go up, you're able to repost them. Those are obviously much bigger when they actually go. So you can go through and post those. Or you can go and find your own content, right? Maybe you take some of your own photos. I know a couple of you guys on Instagram have been great with engaging with the page and taking photos and posting. Like, repost those actually to Facebook as well. They're great pieces of content. And this is going to help spice up your content as well. You don't only want it to be links. You don't only want it to be photos. And if you want, and guys, like, ask questions, right? So right now I can tell you the very, very simple way to get reactions. We can just go here, say, right? What year did you buy your first home? Let us know in the comments. Now, if I post this from the page, this is going to get a ton of engagement. I know this. This is simple. It's easy for people to answer. So we think about questions. We don't want questions that are hard for people to answer. We want people to go and quickly type, you know, if I hit publish on this, we want people to be able to go in and say 1988, you know, 1999, 2003, etc. Make questions that are easy for people to answer. So I'm going to publish that. Oh, and can you guys hear me still? I know that you guys are losing my audio. It said, can you let me know if you can hear me right now? Okay, cool. Okay, great. I'm going to show you guys too. I know we have a couple questions in on how to tag the actual, you know, Berkshire Hathaway Zach Shore Realtors page on a post. So I'm going to show you that as well. So what you're going to do, right? If I go to a page, and tagging a business is exactly like how you would tag your friends. What you're going to write is, if I go here, I'm going to go to, and then I'm going to go at. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. As I go through, I got to make sure, because this is, you know, Berkshire, I got to start typing it out, and you're going to start seeing them all populating below, right? So I scroll down, and then I just go down and I click. Now it's tagged. So then I'd be able to go through and post. Now what happens when you do that is the Facebook page, we're actually going to get a notification that you tagged us. Why this is great is if you want to go through and you want to tag maybe another business that you worked with, or let's say you went to a famous restaurant and you put it on there, always love, taking our clients out for dinner or to celebrate closing on a new home, and you take them to, a famous restaurant, you can tag the restaurant. And what's great about that is a lot of times the restaurant or the business will actually share that post, which is going to give you more exposure. So think about that when you're putting up content and you're actually tagging businesses and going through that way. It's a great way. So yeah, that at symbol, you can tag. I can start to tag anyone from here if I want. If I want to look at Serena Williams, right? I can tag her page or anyone. So you can go through and start tagging people. So that's what I would look at when you want to do is how can you involve community and how can you do that through conversation, right? And this comes back to our central point of this whole presentation is we want to conversate with people. When you tag people and you're saying good things about them, you're not only helping consumers as they can go through and click the tag and find out more information, but you're really helping your relationship with those pages that you tag, right? It's kind of like giving an internet high five, so to speak, to somebody. And when you do that, it makes them feel warm and fuzzy. They're going to be more likely to share your content. So just think about that, especially if you've been at visiting any local businesses, any Staples, or if you go down and maybe you take a walk around the Barney, and you take a selfie, like tag it on Facebook. Because there's going to be somebody out there who's managing that page who might see it and might repost it, and it's just a good way to get more and more exposure. Okay, next we're going to talk just a little bit about some of Facebook's tools. There's a lot of tools you can do, especially from your business page. So as you can see right here, if I hit see all, Facebook has a lot going on for me, right? I can create an offer, an event, I can start a question Q&A, start a live video, advertise, etc. Sharing a post or a photo or a video is going to be with the majority of what you do. You're also going to share links, but you can advertise, you can start a live video. Can you guys let me know, has anybody here tried doing a live video at an open house? Oh, we got one. Yeah, this is something I find really interesting. I think Facebook Live in particular, which you guys have probably seen on the feed when you log in and it shows people, it's live video, it's live streaming. I think open houses are a great opportunity for this, especially if you have a lot of people in. You just hop on live really quickly because now you can not only, you have people that are doing the open house, but you could walk through the property before the open house even starts and just talk through each room, get into that beautifully sunlit living room. Look at that view. If you say, hey, look, this is only steps from the beach, on the Facebook Live, like walk out and show them how many steps it is to the beach, right? You can add that context to your listing and you can do it with adding your personality as well. It's a great way to advertise a property and advertise yourself in a tasteful way. Home sellers love it. So really think about that the next time you want, to promote one of your listings. I think it's a great tool. And then, of course, you can do things. You can start Q&As, you can polls, etc. Really look at the tools Facebook has. It also has groups, and groups have become great tools. So you can go through, and I'm in a group, for instance, in this remote CEO group. You can find groups for anything. You can find groups that people who love, maybe they grew up coming to the shore every single summer. Like there's probably a group for that. And you can go and see people that are sharing memories and you can have a really good pulse on what people are talking about. So, if all you do is go through and search, I'm going to be able to see, what's happening. LBI recommendations and questions, right? LBI sunsets and sunrises, everything LBI. Like these are great groups for you to be in. And right here, guys, recommendations and questions. Don't you guys think that maybe you could help people out as a local expert here? when people have questions. There's 10,000 people in here. And if they have questions, like to me, so you have to request to join. And then once you join the group, you would see all of the posts, right? Like I guarantee you there's some great questions going on in here that you can come in and answer, right? Where do you see the best sunrise? Are there any trusted, mechanics on the island? Like all of these types of questions will come through. And if you can be there as that beacon of continual expertise, you become the expert and people want to come to you. So this is something I would definitely look at doing too, is the using the groups. So, and that's it, right? So I want to shift it now and get into some questions, but really guys, think about it like this. The content you create, what is the value it's giving to potential people, that you connect with? Don't be afraid to spend some money on Facebook, the paid side of things, and doing that. And it doesn't have to be a ton of money. I'm talking, you could spend $5 on a boosted post and you could see that could become, a really nice piece of advertising for you. Use the tools, go live, start to experiment, start to play with it. So many people never leave this platform. There's so much opportunity here. And then lastly, look at groups and look at how you can connect with people, and it'll really, really fuel, a lot of that social interaction that we want to have. So I'm going to open it up now. Just any questions you guys have. I will stay here as long as you have questions. Fire away. If we need to hop into some more live examples, we can. I'll gladly do that as well. Okay, so we had a question in what's a good amount to spend on Facebook. Honestly, it really depends on, obviously your budget and what you're putting forward. But I think, I've suggested to people before spending as little as like $30 a month on Facebook, just on the Facebook like ads, trying to grow the page that way, and that's paid off, over the long haul for people for sure. So that is something I would look at. I would go. I think you have to spend $30 a month as their minimum, and you can, and that's fine. The other thing you could do is do like when you pick your best piece of content per week, and just spend $5-10 on that piece of content, promoting it, and really have a goal attached to it. So okay, hey, we have this piece of content. We're going to it's trying to get people to click through to a website, or you're trying to get people to register for something. Like really attach your goals before you spend, or maybe you're just trying to get exposure. You just want more exposure. That's all you want. As long as you outline that beforehand, then you'll know and you can track if things were successful or not. Okay, how often should we promote listings on Facebook? Well, so this is something I would say, if listings for you should be, look, we want to show people we're in business, right? We want to show people that this is part of that building trust too, is showing them that you can sell properties. For me, I would look at posting about 10% of your content, 10% or less, between 5 and 10% of your content would be listing orientated, especially with your own listings or promoting, another listing in the area. And if you think about it, like, once every 6 or 7 posts, 8 posts that you have it up there, someone who scrolls through your page, they'll be able to see like, oh, you have a listing. Okay, great. Also, I would put those up as photos because the photo albums will actually stay. So if people want to get in and dig deeper and check out your photos, they can. There's a question here, how to grow a Facebook business page. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys a live example. There's a couple things you can do. One, you can obviously do paid advertising, right? That you go through and you do the like a Facebook like campaign, and Facebook that's that $30 a month, and it's very top level. The other thing you can do, and I recommend doing this one time and one time only, is actually inviting people to like your page. So what you can do is right here, it's going to say invite friends. So I'm going to invite friends. Now, I can go through and look, we don't want to annoy people, right? We just want to invite people and people who will actually communicate with us, like our content, etc. So as I go through and I see my friends, right, which ones would actually want to like my content? Which people have I connected with on the personal level that would come through and like this page? And which ones can I provide value to? So Bree, this is the person I know professionally. Okay, great. I'm going to send her an invite. Right? Go through and do that, but don't abuse it. There are people, we all know that person who, is sending us Candy Crush invites nonstop or Farmville, and they become annoying on Facebook, right? We don't want to be the annoying person, so do that one time. That's a great way to grow your page initially. Do that once, then I would say look at growing with a paid campaign. One of the other things you can do too is say you take a photo like this, right? You take a photo with somebody you know, tagging them, which we talked about earlier. It's a strategy that's called share for share. So if you tag maybe a loan officer you've worked with or another realtor and just say it was a pleasure working with this, somebody else on the Zach Short team, etc. Take a photo and tag their page as well as yours. That's just going to help both of you guys grow in exposure. I know a lot of times people think, they don't want to do that, but I would look at this. Celebrate any single business that shares a customer base with you, but is not a competitor. Right? So if you work with a moving company, for instance, moving companies have someone who's looking and evaluating moving companies is going to be evaluating realtors at the same time. So, those are the types of companies I would want to look at sharing, sharing their content, connecting with. Maybe there's a local mover, maybe the local Atlas Van Lines, office. There's somebody there who's, you've worked with. Get creative and think about what you can do that way, and it'll help you out for sure. Okay, any other questions, guys? And I will stay here, like I said, for as long as you guys have any other questions. And they can be, if they're super specific, don't worry. Chances are somebody else has that question too. Okay, and is there anything, guys, that you are dying to learn about with regards to social media? I know we've done kind of an intro into, social and thinking about it. We've now done Facebook. Can you guys, this is great information for us, is if you can let me know, what you want to learn about. Do you want to learn about how to build a personal brand on LinkedIn, how to, how to write blog posts, or maybe you want to know how to use Twitter, Instagram, etc. These are all things that we want to help you with. But if we hear that, there's a burning desire to learn about one of those in particular, of course, we can move it up in our order, and we can tackle that, sooner than later for you. Okay, guys. Well, I think that is it. If you have any questions that come up afterwards, do not worry. Feel free to contact me directly or contact Gina, and Gina can pass the questions over to me. That is totally fine. I thank you guys again for spending your time today going through this. I know it can be a lot and sometimes seem overwhelming. So I hope this provided some value to you, and I hope you have a good rest of the week. And yeah, don't hesitate. If there's any questions, feel free to reach out. All right, guys, this is done. The recording will be on YouTube within 24 hours. I'm going to have to download it and edit it a little bit, and then we'll have it up on YouTube for you. And that link will go out. Have a great rest of your day.